Hello chess friends and welcome to the channel. The Women's Grand Prix in Skolkovo ended yesterday. It was a tournament full of great games and with an unexpected winner, the Indian Humpy Koneru. Today we are going to watch one game from round 9, Kateryna Lagno with the white pieces against Ju Wenjun with black. Let's get started. Kateryna Lagno opens with e4 and Ju Wenjun answers with e5, knight to f3 and knight to f6 the Petrov defense. Knight captures d6, knight back to f3 and knight captures on e4. Here comes d4, d5 gaining space in the center, bishop to d3, and in this position the most played moves by black are knight to c6, bishop to e7 or bishop to d6. Instead here comes bishop to f5, this is a sideline. Short castle for white, bishop to e7 and rook to e1 that improves the rook. Also, let's notice that Kateryna Lagno used all her moves to develop the kingside and to castle short. Ju Wenjun continues with short castle. Here comes c4 and of course black can't capture the pawn because the knight will be lost. So here comes knight to c6, c captures on d4, queen captures on d4, adding a new defense to this knight. The knight jumps to c3, of course attacking both the knight and the queen, so this knight must capture. Knight captures on c3, that it was the only possible move. The b pawn recaptures, bishop captures on d3 and queen captures on d3. This position white maintains the initial advantage. Next idea, of course, for black will be to centralize the rooks. So rook in f goes to e8. White continues with bishop to f4, this was the last piece to be developed. The bishop is attacking c7, so here comes bishop to d6. 6 games in database, Kateryna Lagno and Ju Wenjun already played this position in 2017 and Lagno won the game. But Ju also played the position last March against the strong Paravian, that he has a rating of 2627, and she was able to win the game after 44 moves. Knight to g5 and c4 are the moves that were played. Kateryna Lagno continued with c4 against Ju Wenjun, Paravian instead with knight to g5. But in this game, Kateryna continues with knight to g5. Of course, the threat is to give checkmate into moves. So here comes g6, knight back to e4, and even if this bishop is still under attack and unprotected, black can't capture the bishop because there is the knight jump to f6 winning the queen. So here comes rook to e6 controlling f6, knight captures on d6, this is a novelty that improves queen to f3 played by Paravian. White is slightly better, also because now he has the bishop against the knight. So here comes c captures on d6, rook captures on e6 and f captures on e6, this is the best recapture. Let's go back one move. What happens if now the queen captures on e6? This move is playable, of course. After queen captures on e6, this pawn fork doesn't work because here comes knight to e5 attacking the queen. So queen to d4, queen to f5 and the game is equal. But after queen captures on e6, instead of playing d5, if now comes queen to b5 attacking b7, the black queen must move back defending the pawn, and in this position white is more active, and this is an important point in this position. The side with more activity has chances to win the game. So let's go back to our game. We said after rook captures the rook on e6, f captures on e6, played by Ju Wenjun, this is the best recapture. Now rook to b1, of course attacking b7, b6, and here comes h4. Rook to f8, good move, threatening the bishop, and here comes bishop to h6. This bishop is beautifully placed in this position, because also is restricting the king. What happens now? It happens that black must pay attention, because here comes queen to f5, and this is the only move that doesn't lose the game. The queen is attacking the unprotected queen, If the queen moves away, white must pay attention because behind the queen there is an unprotected rook, and the rook and the queen are also attacking f2. Let's go back one move. What happens if instead of queen to f5, here comes the simple rook to f7? It happens that here comes queen to a6, threatening checkmate because the king can't move. So rook to c7, controlling c8. But here comes rook captures on b6, the pawn can't capture the rook or checkmate will come in few moves, and in this position it's already +4 because there will be a constant checkmate threat on the back rank. Of course, as we said, if the pawn captures, queen to a8 we check, king to f7, queen to f8 is already checkmate. Let's go back to our game. After queen to f5, now white must or exchange, losing all the activity, because it's not a problem for black, because black will recapture with the rook, or as Kateryna Lagno played, to continue with queen to f1. Here comes rook to c8, watching c3 from far, rook to e1, a good move, and here comes e5. This is a little inaccuracy. Let's go back one move. Queen to d5, centralizing the queen, protecting almost everything is the best move. Here comes rook to e3 and knight to e7. Of course, the threat is the knight jump to f5, winning a piece. So here comes g4, controlling f5. The knight must go back to c6. And in this position, if white wants to keep trying to win the game, she must pay attention, because if, for example, here comes queen to e2, this is already a forced draw. Here comes knight captures on d4, c captures on d4, and rook to c1. Watch the action of the rook combined with the queen. It's almost checkmate, but there is a way out. King to h2, rook to h1 we check, king to g3, rook to g1. Of course, the king must move to the center of the board, or going back is checkmate with the queen on g2. So king to f4. Now queen captures on d4 we check, rook to d4, but now queen to f6, again we check, and king to e3. Then back and forth with the queen from c3 we check to f6, and it's a draw by repetition or perpetual check. Let's go back to our game. We said after rook to e1, better to centralize the queen. Instead, here comes e5, little inaccuracy, and queen to a6, threatening both the invasion here on b7 and also watching the rook. The queen can't move away or the rook is lost. Queen back to d7, keep protecting the rook, but also now protecting the 7th rank. This is a good move. Queen back to d3 and rook to e8. In this position, white is a bit better, but why? Because white has a better king safety, the bishop against the knight, and more activity. Queen to f3, knight to d8. Of course, the knight would like to jump here on f7. D captures, queen to f7, with the idea of exchanging the queens. This is another inaccuracy because white can always refuse this queen exchange. Let's go back one move. Much better now, or well, not much better, but better is queen to e6. The knight can still jump here to f7. The pawn is pinned because there is the unprotected rook behind the pawn. This bishop better if it goes back. Now d captures on e5. White is still a bit better, but black is better than before. Let's go back to our game. We said d captures on e5, queen to f7 with the idea of exchanging the queens. But Kateryna Lagno doesn't want to exchange the queens. Now the queen can capture on a2, but this would be a mistake because the white queen can invade and it's really dangerous with the queen here on d7. So here comes d captures on e5, rook to d1, knight to e6, queen to a4, and there is the threat of rook to d7. Knight to c5, very good move, controlling d7, also attacking the queen, but the queen can improve her position moving to c6. and we notice how active is this white queen. Rook to b8, rook to d5 attacking e5, and queen to e7 protecting the pawn. Here comes h5, and this is the last critical moment of the game. Ju Wenjun captures this pawn, captures the pawn, but this is a terrible mistake because now the g file is completely open. She should play g5 advancing the pawn because to open this file is too risky. In fact, here comes f4, and the pawn can't capture, or the rook will come with check, destroying the position. Queen to b7, again Ju Wenjun tries to stop this attack changing the queens, but again Kateryna Lagno can play something that will prevent this queen exchange. Queen to f6, even if the rook is under attack and undefended, black can't capture the rook, or the queen will give checkmate here on g7. Queen to f7, again attacking the queen, but here comes rook to d8 with check, and in this position Ju Wenjun resigns because it's already, of course, a forced checkmate in 2. Let's watch. The rook must capture. Now queen captures on d8 with check, the king can't move, only move is to interfere with the queen, but now queen captures on f8, supported by the bishop, is checkmate. And with this victory, Kateryna Lagno was able to stop Ju Wenjun, that finished the tournament in second position, half point behind Humpy Koneru. I hope that you like the game. I also hope to have time, but I think so, to show one of Koneru's game, because she played many good games, and of course she deserves to be watched on the channel. Our video is over, but we will meet later for round 5 of the World Cup. Thank you very much, and see you soon.